to kind of cover holes that we had to really help students with areas that they needed more support in. But math centers, reading centers kind of takes the place of just that playtime. They feel like they're playing games. They feel like it's playtime with their partner, but it's learning through play.
I do learning centers and play centers. My learning centers are stored right there in all those tubs by month or by theme. And the play centers are stored in tubs like that, only down in the other kindergarten room. We share those.
We have our own set. So when we made it, we made enough for 4 classrooms.
We do play centers when the kids first come in the morning instead of morning work. And then at the end of the day when all their work is done, if they finish their project or work that they have to get done, that's when they do play centers. They do their reading and math centers after their lesson. So 2 years ago we started doing table rotations where the kids and their tubs move from one table to the next each day, but all the play centers and math and reading centers stay where they are.
So our math centers have the star bins. The literacy centers have Book with the Worm on it. And then our play centers are just the tubby toys that are on the shelf.
So the students get to choose what tub they are doing. I will choose which students are with me during that time, which ones are at math tubs during that time, and which ones are on the iPads. But they get to choose their tub. And once they finish a tub, then they can go get a new tub. My math tubs are about once a month. It just kind of depends on where the kids are at.
When we do our cycles for collaboration, we look at what the needs are of the students. So if it's counting, then we focus our learning centers on that. Our must-dos or have-tos, those are based off of curriculum or the need of the students. So we come back from specials, we go to the rug, we do all of our envisions. So they go back to their seat and they do their math magazine, we call it. And then as they finish that, then they go on to their have-to for that time, which is based off of envisions or our cycle. When they're done with that, they turn it in, then they get to choose their bin. And then while they're working on their bins, I can pull small groups. And what I love about that is that I can pull whoever I need for however long I need, because they're about 30 to 40 minutes doing their learning. Must-do is based, again, either off of what we're doing with Envisions or our assessment cycle for that, for whatever period of time we're doing it, for that week, I guess. So this is an example. So with the base 10 blocks and cubes, this is their have-to. So that when they get this done, they turn it into a basket, and then I check those later throughout the day, and if corrections need to be made, then they'll correct those either the next day or I guess it just depends on how strongly I feel like if it's an important thing for them to do. And so then after they turn it in, they'll come and choose a bin. So they have 3 choices within. I change the bins monthly, and they really just visit each bin once a week. So at the beginning of the month, I take 2 to 3 days to introduce the activity. Some of them do go, are the same every month, but it's like a different, so bump. I don't know if y'all are familiar with that game. So it's the same game, but different graphics on the thing, you know, or different counters that we use to cover, just to change it up a little bit. So I introduce one, and then they do that one activity that first day, and then the next day I introduce one new one, so then they'll have 2 to choose from, and then the next day I choose one, the last one, and then they have the 3 for the rest of the month to work on.
I have a handful that are the same type of format. I have right around the room. There's roll and record that kind of changes throughout the year. A few addition and subtraction that the worksheets are the same, but it changes the level that they're at. But other than that, I have a handful that change every month, and I just teach it. And that first day that I teach it, I don't have a small group. that's all they're doing is tub time, so I can walk around and make sure that they're understanding how to play the game.
Versus.
Teacher pay teachers and the kindergarten smorgasbord and kindergals.
We have been lucky enough to have color copiers here that we've been able to use. We have purchased most of our materials. We just take turns purchasing things, usually from Teachers Pay Teachers. We try to find as many free things as we can from teacher blogs. And as far as our play centers, some of them, most of them we just purchased with our own money. One summer, about 3 summers ago, we got together as a team and made like a Chinese food center and a Mexican food center and a florist shop center. We made a center for every month, and we worked on those together. Those all came from pre-K pages.
I think just a lot of me walking around and making sure that they're playing correctly or playing the game with the whole group so that everybody can be hearing the same directions, everybody has participation within that activity before I put it into a tub. That way I know when they're independent, they've seen it, they've done it with me and not just explaining it and sending them off, which I feel I can do in May, explain it and send them off to be independent.
The noise level, it depends. It's usually louder than I'd like it to be, but it's generally they're engaged in play, so I try to give them some grace with that. Naughties just get pulled. They just get to go back and sit down at their table and take a timeout, and then if I feel like they're going to be able to manage, they get to go back.
I feel like keeping it to smaller groups has really helped math time be more successful. The tubs, they only have a partner, and then I have a small group of maybe 4 or 5, and then iPads being an option for independent time has really helped just the behavior issues stay down, and then I have more control over who they're working with. I feel like going to the once a month model has really helped me pare down how much work I'm putting into it, along with knowing where we're at with the standards and having things ready for each month and where the report card kind of leads us in our group.